In the last 25 years since this arc aired, there has been no Dragon Ball arc worse than the Super 17 arc. The worst that Dragon Ball Z, or Dragon Ball Super have to offer are nothing compared to these 7 episodes. Coming off of a grand space adventure, Dragon Ball GT's story comes back to Earth, and that is where the remainder of the series takes place. Now, I kinda like the beginning of this arc. Everybody was just doing their own thing. Trunks was running Capsule Corporation, Goten was out on a date with Felice, and the 31st World Tournament was happening. Pan and Goku enter and dominate their respective matches. Vegeta tries to enter so he can fight Goku, but he's too late and ends up punching a wall in frustration. Majube competes in the tournament disguised as Papaya Man, and Mr. Satan sits in his room and prepares to fight in his last tournament because he announced that he is going to retire. Now, Mr. Satan plans to pass his title off to Pan, and that makes sense. Most of the characters that are actually stronger than Mr. Satan have no interest in being the champion and the spotlight that comes along with it, except for one. We were first introduced to Oob at a world tournament. He was there to make the people of his village proud, and I don't think those feelings ever wavered because in this episode, Majube makes his way to the championship round and intended on beating Mr. Satan. When the fight starts, Majube is pummeling Mr. Satan, but before he can do too much damage, the Boo inside of him makes Majube stop, and that allows Mr. Satan to knock Majube out of the ring. Mr. Satan announces that he is no longer retiring, and as the sun sets, the main cast leaves the tournament, and on the way home, they run into a Vegeta who is demanding a fight with Goku. They stand across from each other on a bridge, getting ready to give us a matchup that has been legendary in the 2 previous times before this, but Goku's stomach starts to growl and asks Vegeta if they could fight after he got a chance to eat. Now, although nothing major happened in this episode, I like this episode. Aside from not being the most beautifully drawn, I think this episode was a breath of fresh air. We just came off a very intense journey, and seeing an episode where the cast is just relaxing and laughing with each other is refreshing because you know at some point the story will heat up again. Unfortunately, in this case, the quality of the laid-back episode is much higher than the high-stakes and action-packed story that follows. While people on Earth are enjoying a time of peace, we get a look at Dr. Mew wandering down in hell and thinking about how it all went wrong. And as he is wandering, he meets an old enemy of the Z Fighters, Dr. Gero. A character that is similar to Dr. Mew in more than just how they look. They both are scientific geniuses, they both created machines that turned against them, resulting in their demise, but what drew them close together was their hatred towards Goku, and together, they made a plan that would put Goku away for good. On Earth, Goku was enjoying a dinner with his family and friends, but they were waiting on Trunks because he was late, and when he gets there, he's seriously hurt. He falls down to the ground at Goku's door, but not before saying it was Android 17 who was responsible. And as the group tries to figure out what is wrong with Trunks, they realize that there's a giant hole in the sky. Now this was interesting. Nothing quite like this had ever happened in Dragon Ball, so there was a genuine mystery surrounding this. But then we see Android 17 enshrouded in a different kind of aura than we saw in Dragon Ball Z. Then we get a look down into hell where another Android 17 is enshrouded in the same kind of aura. Soon after this, both androids power up at the same time and their power meets in that hole in the sky. It was at this point where we learned that the hole in the sky is a link between the Earth and hell. This was just phase 1 of Dr. Gero and Dr. Mew's plan. And after phase 1 of their plan being successful, Dr. Gero reminisces about how Android 17 killed him before and how this new android they are trying to create will be controllable. Back on Earth, Trunks explains what happened. The original Android 17 blocked Trunks' car and caused a crash and then blasted Trunks. I guess in trying to protect his driver, Trunks doesn't really fight this Android 17 with his full strength. So although he lost the fight, he did pick up some valuable information. And that was how the doctors were going to flood the Earth with all of Goku's dead enemies. And the only way to stop it is for Goku to go to hell alone. That is such a wild sentence. Of course, Goku takes on the challenge and flies straight into the hole in the sky. The other Z Fighters take on the evil in the streets. I like how these scenes show just how far the main cast has come. These individuals that they were once in life or death battles with were all beaten with ease now. And all of the Saiyans did this in their base forms. They really like their base forms. When Goku meets Dr. Mew and Gero down in hell, they literally just leave him. Now they're on Earth with both Android 17s without Goku to stop them. Do I think Goku could have done something to stop them from leaving? Yes. But I guess you can just chalk it up to Goku being unfamiliar with his situation, but his next situation was one he was very familiar with. As Goku screams in frustration about being stuck in hell, he hears a couple of voices making fun of him. When he turns around, he sees Frieza and Cell, his 2 biggest enemies that he couldn't bring to his side. Although this entire situation was unexpected for Goku, he's eager to fight these two. Goku takes on both at the same time in his base form, and after a certain point he just starts playing around. He surfs on a disc attack while deflecting a Kamehameha from Cell that destroys the top half of his body and then cutting Frieza in half. Cool little callbacks to things he actually did in Dragon Ball Z. But in this realm, they can't be killed. They're already dead. So they continue to attack Goku, and at one point, Cell even absorbs Goku. Kinda. Goku made his way out of Cell's tail, but Frieza and Cell's next attack proved to be troublesome for Goku. Frieza and Cell trap Goku in beams of light and then send him down to the depths of hell, where he finds a lady that tries to cook him, and when that doesn't work, she tries to freeze him. But he thaws out quickly because those methods aren't meant for live bodies. So when Frieza and Cell think they'll finish Goku off, he thaws out and then freezes them, which works much better on those who are actually dead. On Earth, things were going well at first. Vegeta kills Nappa, again, Goten and Trunks kill Android 19, and Gohan has a really boring fight with General Rildo that's eventually resolved by Majub. But the most interesting storyline on Earth was the original Android 17 trying to convince Android 18 to join him, and at first, it seemed like it was working. Android 18's eyes start to glow red and she begins to walk towards Android 17. But Krillin isn't just gonna watch this happen. At this point, or really at any point in his life, could he physically stop an android, but his words resonate not just with Android 18, but Android 17 as well. He reminds them of how they even got to this point, that through disobeying Dr. Gero were they able to be free and live their own lives. Elsewhere in the city, Vegeta is fighting the other Android 17
in his base form
and is losing. This show's favorite thing to do is have fighters remain in their base form even when they're losing. Anyway, back to Krillin. So Krillin tries to talk 17 out of his actions, reminding him of how he really feels about Gero, but that doesn't work. 17 eventually snaps back to his evil senses and kills Krillin with the blast through the chest. Another bad death in my opinion, because the episode didn't give the time needed for the death of one of the most foundational characters in the franchise. After seeing her husband die in front of her, Android 18 snaps on 17, which doesn't work. They have this lackluster beam clash which results in Android 18 seemingly dying next to Krillin. The original 17 goes to the other 17 that was fighting Vegeta, and Vegeta starts to get worried. But then Oob and the Half Saiyans show up, and at this point, I'd say the fight will be even. I'd actually say the Z Fighters had the upper hand, especially if any of them decided to transform. But then the 17 start to glow. They begin to move towards each other, and after their combined glow dies down, we get a good look at this new android. He's taller, has longer hair, his clothes are ripped, and his first move is destroying the surrounding area with just a look. Super 17 proves to be too much for the Saiyans and Majub, but my biggest problem is, why did they wait for the 17s to fuse to use Super Saiyan? Vegeta struggled with just one 17. Gohan struggled with Rildo. These are enemies that are trying to end life on Earth as they knew it. Why are you not going all out? I mean, it wasn't even a surprise to me that 4 Super Saiyans and Majub couldn't beat Super 17. Vegeta even debuts a new move, a move I really like, and it doesn't do anything. Like the final flash didn't kill Cell, but at least we got to see its destructive potential. We didn't get to see anything with the final shine attack. This was an issue I had with GT as a whole. There were characters who I knew were capable of much more, but for some reason they just didn't show it. I feel like I'm forgetting about somebody. Oh my god, Goku is still down in hell. To make a long story short, Piccolo forces his way down to hell to help open up a new hole for Goku to get back to Earth. Piccolo and Dende trying to channel their power like the 17s did, but they struggle for a while. And while Goku is waiting, we see this random scene of a Dragon Ball on Earth with the crack in it. Weird, never seen that before, but now is not the time to worry about that. Piccolo and Dende finally open this hole for Goku, and now that he's back on Earth, he rushes to the Z Fighters' aid and arrives just in time to save Vegeta from being killed by Super 17. Goku prepares to take on Super 17. Finally. It felt like forever to get here, even though it was only 3 episodes. Unlike the rest of his friends, Goku transforms right from the start, and Super Saiyan Goku vs Super 17 isn't a horrible fight, it's just bland more than anything. But in this fight, you notice that with every long distance attack Goku uses, Super 17 just stands and faces them head on without taking any damage. Now if you've watched Dragon Ball Z, you would have realized these hands and what they can do. I guess Goku just forgot. After firing a full power Kamehameha at point blank range and not working, Goku transformed into a Super Saiyan 4. And one thing I never thought about when originally watching this series was that Super 17 may not have been very strong physically, he just kept absorbing energy. Like even as a Super Saiyan 4, Goku doesn't realize that ki attacks just won't work. This was stupid at this point. Like come on, Goku had been firing ki attacks the whole time, then fires a 10 times Kamehameha and again, it doesn't work. This blast gave Super 17 a huge boost. Shocker. Like, as a fighting genius, when do you switch up the strategy? I mean, at this point it was too late. Super 17 had absorbed too much energy, and now, whatever gap was between Goku and Super 17 before was now gone. Now, away from the fight, Chi-Chi, Videl, Bulma, and Bulla make their way towards Goku, and on the way, Bulma sees a city literally underwater and an intense thunderstorm in the distance. Now, Goku and Super 17 were strong, and I'm sure they had some kind of effect on the stability of Earth. But this wasn't something we'd ever seen before. But it wasn't an immediate worry. Because Goku couldn't physically beat Super 17, he planned to self-destruct with Super 17. He grabs a hold of Super 17 and 17 can't shake loose. After Goku builds the energy to carry out his last resort, he releases the energy. There's a huge explosion. It destroyed everything in the surrounding area. But when we see Goku as a kid lying down, this was all the confirmation we needed to know that his efforts didn't work. Super 17 rises out of the water and informs Goku that the shield he created kept both of them alive. Goku, completely out of energy, is at 17's mercy as he prepares a blast that will surely kill him. But then 18 stands in front of Goku. 18 talks to Super 17 about how she admired the man he used to be, the one who overcame Jiro's programming and lived his own life. She mourns the loss of that 17. She then threatens 17 with the fact that she has a bomb in her chest, which was a lie. She got it wished away a long time ago, but Super 17 didn't know that. So it only added to the reasons that Super 17 would hesitate in firing a blast at Goku and 18. As 18 kept talking to 17 about how disappointed she was in him being controlled, Dr. Mew interrupts and tells 17 that she is trying to manipulate him. 17 shoots the blast that was meant for Goku at Dr. Mew, which kills him. While Goku is out of energy watching 18 take on Super 17, Goku realizes how he can beat 17. 17 can only power up after absorbing energy while staying in one pose, and Goku realizes that when he's like that, he can be physically hit. Goku then rushes 17 and uses the Super Dragon Fist that puts a gaping hole in 17's torso, and with him being severely damaged, Goku fires a Kamehameha which kills 17. He did this all in his base form. Where did Goku get that energy from? I don't know. I'm tired of trying to figure that out with this series. After the fight, Bulma finds Goku and lets him know that the Hell and Earth connection caused the Earth to be disturbed in a weird way. So the Saiyans gather the Dragon Balls to wish for the Earth to be made normal again and to wish back Krillin, but they realize that all of the Dragon Balls were cracked. Against better judgment, they summon Shenron anyway, but the first time it doesn't work. The second time they try, the sky turns red, the earth starts shaking, and black smoke starts coming out of the Dragon Balls. This isn't the Shenron we're used to. He's blue, and as far as Eternal Dragons go, he definitely doesn't look like a good one. But we'll learn more about him next time. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about the Super 17 saga. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this video or any of the other ones you've seen on my channel, please leave a like and subscribe. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers and everyone counts. Again, this is BigTune and thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one.